We are about to enter one of the Yellowstone universe's most intense seasons now that the wait is over. 1923 Season 2, Episode 1 is set to deliver shocking moments, heart-wrenching twists, and jaw-dropping drama. The Duttons are about to face battles that have never been seen before, and Spencer Dutton's return to Montana is just the beginning. Nothing will be the same with tensions rising and a war looming over the Dutton Ranch. But there's more. The dramatic events that have been building since Season 1 are about to come crashing down, and these predictions will have you on the edge of your seat. You won't want to miss the first episode of 1923 Season 2, Episode 1, so get ready for a deep dive into what it has to offer. Fans have been waiting for a long-awaited return since the end of Season 1 in the first episode of 1923 Season 2. Spencer Dutton, the character we've all been rooting for, is finally on his way back to Montana. It is more than just a comeback. It is the spark that will light up the remainder of the season. The first few minutes alone will have you hanging on every word, every glance, and every moment as Spencer finally reunites with his family after months apart. However, the return comes with some emotional baggage. Since leaving Montana, Spencer has gone through hell, surviving the Great War, navigating Europe's dangerous waters, and attempting to heal from the trauma that has weighed him down. Now, as he steps back onto Dutton land, the weight of everything he's been through is palpable. But here's the catch. Spencer is not returning to a peaceful Montana. Spencer is aware that the ranch is in danger. In fact, it is in grave danger. This isn't just about family. It's about saving everything the Duttons have fought for. Spencer's voiceover from the trailer echoes in the opening moments, hinting at the stakes of his return. In Montana, there's a war over my family's land, and they're losing it. I know how to proceed. I am returning home. I don't know what else will give you chills like that. Spencer struggles to reintegrate into a changed world as the episode progresses. He remembers a different Montana, one that is harsh and unforgiving. Additionally, there is conflict within the Dutton family as well as in the land. Spencer finds himself in the middle of a heated battle to save the ranch from ruthless forces, with Donald Whitfield lurking in the background, waiting to seize the land. Spencer will have to confront not just the physical challenges of this return, but the emotional scars that linger from his separation from Alexandra and his time away from the family. The connection between Spencer and his past, his family, his legacy, and the land will be tested in ways that will leave fans reeling. This return is about more than just Spencer's homecoming. It's about setting the stage for the ultimate showdown. As the episode builds to its climax, you'll start to realize that this is just the beginning. Spencer's journey back to Montana is only the tip of the iceberg, and the real war, the one for the Dutton Ranch, has only just begun. With Spencer's return to Montana, the stage is set for an epic war unlike any we've seen before in the Yellowstone universe. This is not just about land, it's a full-blown battle for the future of the Dutton family. The Duttons are thrust into a conflict as Episode 1 progresses that will put their loyalty, resilience, and the very fabric of what it means to be a Dutton to the test. Spencer's return isn't just a homecoming, it's a signal that the fight for survival is on. And this war is not just with external forces, but also with the very ideals that have defined the family for generations. Donald Whitfield has quickly established himself as one of the most dangerous enemies the Duttons have ever faced. His ruthless determination to seize the Dutton land is unrelenting, and Episode 1 gives us a chilling preview of what he's capable of. Whitfield isn't just a businessman or a wealthy landowner. He's a calculating predator who will stop at nothing to take control of the Yellowstone Ranch. His declaration in the trailer, "It's time to build an army," isn't just a boast, it's a warning. Whitfield is assembling forces, and the Duttons are his primary target. As Spencer steps back onto the land, He becomes the Duttons' last hope in the fight against Whitfield. But the war is bigger than just Spencer. Jacob Dutton, portrayed by Harrison Ford, is also taking on a more active role in the battle. The episode shows him preparing to leave the ranch to track down Spencer, knowing that the only way to save the family is by uniting with him. But even as Jacob makes this perilous journey, he faces a world that's far more dangerous than it was when he first took charge of the Yellowstone Ranch. His leadership responsibilities are heavy, and the constant threat of death makes every decision feel like a possible error. The Dutton family has always been known for their ability to fight back against overwhelming odds, but in Season 2, Episode 1, that fight takes on a new, brutal intensity. The tension between Whitfield's growing army and the Duttons' desperate defense will create a standoff that will leave no one untouched. The weight of leadership is heavy on his shoulders, and the constant threat of death makes every decision feel like a potential mistake. The Dutton family has always been known for their ability to fight back against overwhelming odds, but in Season 2, Episode 1, that fight takes on a new, brutal intensity. A standoff will ensue as a result of the tension between Whitfield's expanding army and the Duttons' desperate defense. Untouched, every member of the family will be forced to make impossible choices, and the stakes couldn't be higher as the war for the Dutton Ranch intensifies. Alliances will be tested, old wounds will be reopened, and the very survival of the family will hang in the balance. This episode will set the tone for the entire season, with the Duttons caught between the past they're trying to preserve and the harsh future they must fight to protect. Whitfield's threat is real, and Spencer's return is the only hope for the Duttons to regain control of their destiny. But the road ahead is treacherous, and the cost of victory could be higher than anyone is willing to pay. The beginning of a war that will forever shape the Dutton family's future is more than just the beginning of a new season in the first episode of Season 2. While the external war for the Dutton Ranch takes center stage in 1923 Season 2, Episode 1, the most captivating battles are often the ones fought within the family. The Duttons may be united by blood, but that doesn't mean they're immune to internal conflict. As the episode unfolds, it becomes clear that this season will delve deeper into the psychological and emotional turmoil each Dutton family member faces and how their internal struggles impact the broader war for survival. Throughout Episode 1, Jacob faces moments of vulnerability that humanize him in ways we've never seen before. We can see how much his years of constant conflict have hurt. His decision-making is clouded by exhaustion, and the weight of his legacy feels like a constant burden on his shoulders. In the first episode, the relationship between Jacob and his wife, Kara, also takes center stage. Kara has always been a force to be reckoned with, but she is forced to reckon with the possibility of losing Jacob, the one person she's relied on for everything. Kara, who is always there for her family, is going through her own emotional crisis, which puts their bond to the test. The episode presents Kara's vulnerability in an unexpected way. She is a woman of immense strength, but her fragility emerges as the stakes of the war escalate. The relationship between Jacob and Kara is both heartbreaking and uplifting, showing us that even the strongest of bonds are put to the test when the Duttons are fighting for their survival. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and Jack's personal struggles take a tragic turn after Elizabeth's miscarriage. It's clear that the loss has left deep scars on both of them. When Elizabeth tries to put on a brave face for Jack in the opening scenes, her grief is almost palpable. However, her pain is unmistakable, and her inner turmoil spills over into their relationship. Jack, too, is affected by the miscarriage, but his approach to the situation is more stoic. He struggles to convey the depth of his own emotions because he does not want to overburden Elizabeth. The couple's emotional distance grows as both are consumed by their own grief. Fans will be left wondering whether the two can overcome their shared trauma or whether it will destroy their relationship. The cracks in their relationship are obvious. However, not all of the experienced Duttons are having internal difficulties. The younger generation, specifically Jack and Elizabeth's strained relationship, is put under a magnifying glass. Jack is unquestionably loyal to his family, but his devotion to Elizabeth makes it harder for him to make decisions. The idea of balancing personal loss and the greater good for the family becomes one of the central themes. Will Jack choose to remain by Elizabeth's side, or will his sense of duty to the family's legacy pull him away? In a series filled with moral ambiguity and difficult choices, this question will weigh heavily on the audience. Their relationship may very well become the emotional core of the season, with fans torn between supporting the two lovers and hoping for a happy ending while also questioning whether such an ending is even possible in the unforgiving world the Duttons inhabit. Meanwhile, Alexandra's presence becomes more vital than ever after her separation from Spencer in Season 1. Alexandra is not just a love interest, she's a key player in the evolving family dynamic. Spencer's return takes on new dimensions when she reappears in the first episode. She is more than just a person from Spencer's past. She is also a picture of his future, the life he wants to start over after losing everything. Her pregnancy, hinted at in earlier trailers, becomes a pivotal plot point, adding to the emotional and moral complexity of the season. Spencer's desire to reunite with her is clear, but the implications of their relationship, along with the potential loss of another Dutton loved one, create even greater stakes for the season. The fact that the Duttons' internal struggles are interconnected is what makes them so compelling. Each family member's pain and decisions ripple outward, affecting not only those closest to them, but the larger battle for the ranch as well. For instance, Jacob and Kara's relationship could be forever altered by Spencer's return. His presence forces them to confront their own vulnerabilities, perhaps making them question their place within the family. Jacob, despite his hardened exterior, may start to recognize the price he's paid for leadership. He might start to wonder if he was right all along or if he should have gone down a different road. These internal conflicts are just as powerful as the external battles they face. After all, a family divided from within is just as vulnerable to defeat as one facing an outside enemy. In addition to the emotional chaos, there's a sense of unease regarding the power struggle that's emerging within the family. As the Duttons face down Whitfield and his army, there are whispers of internal factions, people within the family questioning Jacob's leadership or Spencer's ability to return and lead them to victory. These tensions create a fascinating undercurrent of betrayal and mistrust. They need to be concerned about more than just Whitfield. The divisions that exist within their own ranks have the potential to destroy them internally. Enter new alliances. As the Duttons fight to save their land, unexpected alliances begin to form. We see Kara and Jacob, despite their growing emotional distance, fighting side by side, proving that even in their vulnerability, they are still a formidable team. However, outside of them, we meet a few new characters whose loyalties may not be as obvious. Characters like M. Fawcett, United States Jennifer Carpenter's deputy marshal, is introduced as a potential wildcard in the ranch fight. Her presence in Episode 1 is a game-changer. At first, she appears to be an outsider, a lawman potentially at odds with the Duttons. However, as the episode progresses, it becomes evident that her motives might coincide with the Duttons' larger cause. Is she capable of becoming an ally or not? Working toward her own agenda, the arrival of new characters adds an exciting layer of complexity to the already tense situation, forcing the audience to reconsider who they can trust in this world, where survival means everything. One of the most unexpected turns in Episode 1 involves the role of Hillary, played by Janet Montgomery, a character who emerges as a voice of reason amidst the chaos. As the battle intensifies, Hillary begins to question the moral cost of war, challenging the Duttons to reflect on their legacy. She may not be a Dutton by blood, but her principles force the family to reckon with the broader consequences of their actions. Her character provides a fresh perspective that viewers might not expect from someone caught in the crossfire. Will Hillary be able to stand by the Duttons, or will she walk away when the cost becomes too high? As we move toward the conclusion of 1923 Season 2, Episode 1, the stakes reach their highest point. The first episode sets the stage for a brutal and emotionally charged season, but it also leaves us hanging on the precipice of a storm that's about to engulf the Duttons. The war for the Yellowstone Ranch is no longer just a battle for land. It's a war for survival, legacy, and identity. By the end of this episode, the pieces are set in motion for a series of life-altering decisions, and the ultimate question looms: will the Duttons survive this new world order, or will they be swallowed up by the forces surrounding them? The episode takes a dark turn as the focus shifts to the impending showdown between the Duttons and Donald Whitfield, the villain of Season 2. Whitfield is no longer just a distant threat. He has become an omnipresent, terrifying force that feels unstoppable. As mentioned earlier, Whitfield's ruthless nature makes him more dangerous than any previous antagonist we've encountered in the Yellowstone universe. His declaration of it's time to build an army echoes through the tension-filled air, making it clear that he isn't just after land, he's after control, power, and domination. The brutal winter in Montana is not just an environmental challenge, it mirrors the ruthless struggle the Duttons are about to face. Whitfield's plans to obliterate the Duttons are relentless, and his willingness to do whatever it takes makes him a worthy adversary. What makes the upcoming conflict even more intense is the knowledge that this war will not just be fought with guns and violence, it will be fought with the emotional toll of loss and betrayal. Throughout Episode 1, we see cracks form in the Duttons' unity. There's an undeniable sense of fear and doubt within the family, something that has never been present before. For the first time, it feels as though the Duttons' empire might crumble. Jacob's leadership is questioned not just by his enemies, but by those closest to him. As the war intensifies, Jacob is forced to make choices that could alienate the people he loves most. This is the turning point, where we see Jacob grappling with the weight of his legacy and the toll it's taken on his mental and physical state. His decisions could make or break the family. Whether he chooses to fight with everything he has or walk away from it all will have consequences far beyond his own survival. One of the most devastating scenes in Episode 1 happens when Jacob and Kara have a moment of quiet reflection. Jacob, the once invincible patriarch, opens up about the fears that have plagued him for years, the fear that the cost of his leadership might be his family. There's a palpable sense of dread in the air as Jacob's vulnerability shines through, and it's impossible not to feel deep sympathy for him. This moment adds a layer of depth to Jacob's character that viewers haven't seen before. As the head of the Dutton family, he's always been the rock, but this season, we see that even rocks crack under pressure. The emotional toll of leading this family, of carrying the weight of generations, becomes too much to bear.